Alright, y'all, here's the tiny cabin. All we're missing is some nails in very specific places, and we'll pretty much be done. So let's do it.
Feels good to be champions, champions. Feels good to be champions, champions. Let 'em know it's set in stone, yeah, never gonna take it away. Feels good to be champions, champions.
Alright, apologies for that one. We had to have some fun there, trying to work on the showmanship. Alright, for this one, we are really going to start taking shape. On the last episode, we were able to finish our floor. We got our floor sheathing done, and now we're going to start the walls. Alright, just giving y'all some context of what's going on here. Basically got all the wood for the walls up onto the subfloor, and then tack it all together with the nail gun. Similar to how we did the floor joists for the floor, I marked it out with the tape measure, and then I tacked it all together with the nail gun. You'll see here I get the subfloor for the loft out of the way. It was stacked up on top of everything, of course, so I moved those two sheets, and that way I can get to some more wood and also the sheathing for the wall. So it'll look a lot like making the floor at first, but at the end you'll see I'll actually stand up the wall and nail it into position after it's somewhat plumb and level. But that's what I'm grabbing there, is those sheets of plywood for the wall. Alright, and then just a bunch more nailing of the sheathing to the studs of the wall. This is kind of a guess. If you ever watch someone build a house, the right way to do this is to mark where your studs are and then nail into the studs. I kind of knew where my studs were, and I actually hit most of them. But if you look at the back side of the wall after I lift this up, you can definitely see where I missed. So I had Graham and Presley with me here today. You can see Presley barking some orders just like her mama does. Really hanging out with me with her pink chair and pink get up. So she was a lot of fun. Her and Graham really been having a good time. Graham's really been leaning into the bug life, catching all the bugs and everything out of the creek that he can. In fact, you'll see one thing pop up right now. It's probably his favorite thing to do, crawdads. Graham's back to catching crawdads, y'all. Choo choo. So he was super excited about that one. He's actually getting pretty good at catching those little guys. Alright, here I'm ramping up to pick up the wall. This thing was heavy. So this wall was 12 feet long, 8 feet high, and had 3 sheets of plywood, no windows or doors on it. Hold on, bud. Hey, can you help me? So I get the wall up and I realize I don't have my nail gun, and this thing is not balanced enough to stand on its own. Hey Graham, I need your help. Come here. So I'm calling Graham over here, and the plan is to get him to bring me the nail gun. So he's got to drop his crawdad hunting and help me out here. I'm not sure if you heard that, but Presley prefers to catch the seashells over the crawdads. Got some seashells. I'm coming. Hurry, Graham, hurry. you sit on the floor and bring it to me?
Yeah.
You might be standing on the hose.
No, I'm not. It's way heavier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, me too, bud. Alright, now come push it over to Daddy. Look, bud, our wall's going up.
What? Are you gonna get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Why did you do that? You need pop-pop.
You're not wrong. Alright, so that was a little touch and go there, but with the help of Graham, we were able to get that first wall nailed off, and then I added some cross braces just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. So really glad Graham was there to help me. Not sure what I would have done had I been doing this truly solo, but we were able to get it done there. So next we start grabbing the studs for the next wall. So that wall was by far the easiest to put together because it had no windows or doors. All the other walls have multiple windows and doors. So each of the two sides will have 2 windows, and then the front side will have a door and then 2 windows as well. So a lot of windows and a lot of more math and cutting associated with the following walls. So it'll take a little bit more time to get all these put together, but they'll actually be a little bit easier to lift because of the reduced weight due to the doors and windows being cut out. So that'll be nice. So as I'm preparing and cutting and tacking this first wall together, I actually have my father, the kids call him Pop Pop, on the way, and he's going to help me put up the rest of the walls. But he's just a little bit later. He had to work a little bit longer than I did on this particular day. But this type of work really goes a lot better with 2 people. So, working on this wall with the 2 windows in it. Need to check my dimensions to make sure I frame for my windows correctly. Alright, so I had to look at my phone to see what the window dimensions were so I could make sure I got my cuts right. And then I went ahead and fixed the camera angles, give everyone a little bit better view. Not sure if you noticed in the first part of the video, but we brought the trailer out with all the wood. On the trailer, we had Graham's power wheel on it. So he had it and driving around the farm and the creek bed and everything. I've actually modified it a little bit. It's got a light bar on the front and a big old troller motor battery in it that really lets it last all day long when you remember to charge it. But he has a really good time driving that around, and somehow Presley has the courage to ride with him too. They were actually mowing down some brush with it, trying to just use it as a bulldozer almost. This little golf cart and winch did surprisingly well at pulling out this big old truck. Alright, so we finally got him out. We got his truck down here to the tiny cabin build. So now we're going to resume progress. Going to pick up speed on this second wall we're building here. while I'm building this one, he's just getting all his tools going, starting to do measurements and cuts for the other walls, and he's just trying to figure out what in the world I'm doing. So Pop, he is a home builder, has been a home builder. Not his main job anymore, but he still likes to do the carpentry work. And he definitely knows what he's doing. And I just kind of make it up as I go. But we get pretty close, and with his help, we're able to get some really good progress done. So you can also see Graham here. He is all about collecting the scraps. And he actually makes a wooden chair to sit on this other side. So him and Presley just keep walking back and forth here to play with all the wood and everything else he's collected. But it's pretty funny. They make a little bridge, too, out of some of the scraps. But you can see in the back there, you can see us getting the 2 windows framed, checking for square, and then nailing everything off. So
On the time where?
on the truck, in the truck.
Andrew, are you looking at that to make sure you
Here go Daddy. Here go Daddy. Here go Daddy. Here go Dad.
Okay, just leave it there, baby. I don't need it right now. I don't need it right now. Thank you. Thank you.
Look at this tucker. Look at this big house.
Wow. You building it?
Yeah.
Hey, how do you know that's safe to walk across?
Yeah.
How do you know that's safe? How did you fall down that hole?
All right, here comes Graham again to the rescue with the nail gun. Check out this form. I guess it is a pretty heavy gun.
That piece of wood.
Yeah, Bubba needs it. Help him get it? Wait, that's too far to jump. That's too far to jump.
All right, so back to business. Nailing it all off. And then you see here we actually check for a level. And as we're nailing these 2 walls together, we'll actually push on them a little bit and make sure everything's plumb and level, sort of as we go. And then I'm bringing up some more studs and top plates, bottom plates for the front wall that'll have the door in it. So this wall will be the most difficult, aside from the knee walls that'll make the loft. This wall has the 2 windows and the door in it. And you'll see us throughout the video kind of having to readjust the wall to try to get the spacing of the windows and door correct. Having 2 people nail and cut and everything, maybe a little bit of miscommunication, or we're on different wavelengths, but had to make some adjustments with our fine adjustment tools and get the spacing exactly right. But in the end, we got it where we wanted it, and we were able to get it all square and plumb and nailed up. So here's Dave marking it out. So we start with the door framing, try to get it into the middle, and then we measure off to make sure that our windows are evenly spaced as well. So above each door and window framing, you have what's called a header, and that's basically 2 studs stood up on their sides, nailed together. And what that does is that evenly distributes the weight above the door to the jack studs, I believe they're called. But basically the studs that run to the header to the bottom of the framing. All right, so Delaney and the kids decide to leave and head back to the house. Meanwhile, Pop and I will continue to work on the walls and whatnot. But pretty convenient having the golf cart, able to fit everyone in and ride back on to Delaney's minivan. So really enjoy the golf cart out here. Makes everything just a little bit easier, especially considering her minivan isn't quite the all-terrain vehicle. we'll have to work on that perhaps. And just before you know it, we're already rolling back up in the golf cart, ready to help Pop with this last wall. So we'll go back to hyperspeed here as we nail together all the cuts that Pop made. You can see there those two studs that are going the other direction. That's the header I was talking about. And then the two windows, you have the seal at the bottom of the window, and then the cripple studs that hold the seal up. So now we're lifting up the wall. We're actually going to flip it around, and then we will continue to put sheet goods onto the wall. So again, it's just a lot easier to go ahead and put the sheets on the floor. And then what we'll actually do is for this wall, we use a router and a sawzall to go ahead and cut out the windows and doors while it's on the ground. So anything we can do on the ground, especially since we're working on the berm is not conducive to ladders or any kind of work on the slope. It just has uneasy footing, and makes everything a little bit harder to do, especially talking about lifting up all these heavy things. So here goes up this middle wall. Again, a little bit easier since we have all these large openings in it. You can see our sheet goods actually go a little bit past the framed wall, and that just helps us tie everything in together. So we'll have sheet overlapping the subfloor onto the studs above, and that really just helps everything be solid and nailed together. Alright, we didn't have Graham to help us this time with the nail gun, so we grabbed it ourselves. Pop was able to hold it up while I grabbed the nail gun. And now what we're doing here, we're just kind of bracing some things off. I think a storm was supposed to come overnight, so we put in some cross members, try to get everything level. This took a little bit of effort. It had a little bit of pushing, a little bit of hammering, just to try everything get plumb and level. But these cross braces do a really good job of holding everything into place. Alright, we had a little bit of a thunderstorm last night, but it's still here. We're going to get the last wall up today. On that far side, we got the whole fam here. We got Pop here ready to go. Knock it out. There's Mama, baby Tucker. We brought Graham's Raptor today. He's been turning it up. He's got the saw going. So we're going to see how much we can get done today. Say hey to baby Tucker. Hey baby Tucker. Woo, there he is. There we go, y'all. All right, here you have a pretty good angle of the cabin, kind of the overall shape and scope of what it's going to look like. So again, we're on top of this berm, and then even on top of the berm, we got our foundation, our 6x6s that elevate us up even a little bit more. So if the creek floods, we're not worried about it. I'm really liking the way it looks, hidden back in the trees on top of the trailer. I'm excited to see how the rusty tin will look on it. What I'm doing right now, I am cleaning up the windows and doors a little bit with the router, just getting all the rough cuts cleaned up, and then I'm nailing some of the sheathing down a little bit more. We kind of just tacked it in place yesterday, so now we're just really nailing it all together, tying that all together. And then Pop is cutting for the final wall, and you can see all that laid out, taking some measurements and making sure it all gets laid out correctly. And then we'll nail all that together and raise it into place, similar to the first three. So Again, just mirrored on this one side. We'll have 2 windows, just like the other side. So right here, we're talking about how this branch is in the way. So we decided just to go ahead and take care of that real quick. Same way Graham would do it. We're just gonna go sling our bodies and hang off the tree. I really wanted to keep as many of the trees around as possible, but we did have to take a few out just because they were in our way. Alright, so there's the 4th wall. I'll go ahead and nail it off, and you can see the 2 windows. Really large windows. Really, most of everything is going to be open, having a lot of light that it's going to let in. So I think it'll be really nice once we get it all tied together. You can see here we're using a ratchet strap to actually get the wall pulled into plumb and level. And that actually worked pretty well, so pretty happy with how that turned out. Yeah. And like I said, we had to take one more tree. Graham was really hating this one because it was the one he likes to climb and swing off of. But we left him the last 6 feet of the tree so he can still climb up it, and that's about all they climbed up anyways. And then just a couple more branches that were going to be in the way of the loft level. Went ahead and cut them off while we had the chainsaw out. And then you can see here I'm doing the second top seal plate. So you do 2 seal plates to really solidify everything. And then I'm putting in some more of the cripple studs underneath the window to have some more studs to nail into when we put the sheets on. Those also provide a little bit of support to that seal plate of the window. A lot of this stuff takes a little bit of time. You gotta do some measuring, make sure you're getting all your studs 16 inches on center. So a little bit of measuring there, and then they're a little bit of a headache to nail to as well. You have to do kind of a toenail to get all these little studs in, but are able to knock it out, and then we'll spend the rest of the time putting on our last pieces of sheet goods. So we go ahead and nail all those off to the studs on both sides, and then that'll really finish up the bottom 4 walls, and then we will be able to start on the knee walls above and the loft, but that'll be the next video. Got that work done already, just taking my time editing, trying to keep the pacing going well. So alright, the last step here is we're going to go ahead and cut out those windows that we covered up with the sheet goods. You can see Graham exploring with the ladder a little bit, checking out our 4 walls here. Pop taking the router to the windows, and this is not a fun job. That you just get that sawdust everywhere, and you're just a dirty mess after you get done with it. And this router, I don't know, it did okay. We ended up taking the Sawzall to the last of it. But that's going to be it for this video. Like I said, we got the 4 walls up. You can really start seeing the shape of the tiny cabin. And on the next one, we'll start with the knee walls and actually putting on some of the roof rafters. So stay tuned for that. It's really starting to come along.